All right, for your test on Tuesday, of course you're going to have to know how to find the area of a triangle. Given side angle side, find the area of a triangle, so you need that formula. Then you're going to need to know the law of sines, the law of cosines, and then some identities. There are not a lot of identities. You saw that on the requiz. You had quite a bit of problems with the identities. Yeah, I think you only have 6 out of the 20 problems are identities. Maybe not even that many. Maybe there's 4. All right. And then section 4. Make sure you know the sum and difference identities. Sum and difference for sine and sum and difference for cosine. There's 4 of them. Okay, 2 for sine, 2 for cosine. And then on section 5, we dealt with double angles and half angles. I will tell you that if you're listening to this recording, or you guys today, there are no half angle problems on your test. Okay? But you do need to know the double angle formulas. And then the last section that you had, solving trig equations. And I have not fielded a lot of questions over the last few days about that section. So I'm thinking that we have a pretty good understanding of that. The hard part, if it's a hard part at all, is to factor. Factor the quadratic trig function, and then figure out what the angles are. Okay? So any questions on that, for what's going to be on your test? All right. And you had a question, Sarah, on number 45? Let's check it out. That's on the first review? Yeah. What is the height of the mountain to the nearest yard? Yeah, what I think I might do is I might record that a little bit later and put that on. That's going to take a little bit of time. Anything else? Yes? Number 42. Right, number 42, and this is on page 932. Yeah. Did you have trouble factoring it? Yeah. 4 sine squared plus 4 cosine. So we have 4 sine squared plus 4 cosine is a minus 1? All right. Well, first of all, this is like having an x squared and a y. And we want to put everything in the same trig function. So the first thing we want to do, cosine theta, I can't do much with it. But I could take sine squared, and I could write sine squared as 1 minus cosine squared. Okay. So now I've got everything in terms of cosine. Distribute the 4. 4 minus 4 cosine squared plus 4 cosine minus 1 equals 0. Did it equal 0 or equal 1? 0. It did equal 0, okay. Now I'm going to put this in standard form. Negative 4 cosine squared plus 4 cosine plus 3. That's the 4 minus 1. And when I factor this, I do not like to factor with a negative as my leading coefficient. So I'm going to divide every single term by a negative 1 to get 4 cosine squared. So you have to do a little bit of work before you actually get to the point where you can factor. And I'm not sure what this is. I'm guessing it is 2 cosine and 2 cosine. It's a guess. And for the 3 at the end, it's going to have to be 3 and 1. Or 1 and 3. But so let's see if this works out. I believe that's right. Okay, I think I can get that middle term. 2 cosine minus 6 cosine is negative 4 cosine. All right. So 2 cosine theta minus 3 equals 0. Cosine theta equals 3 halves. What can you tell me about that? Not possible. Thank you. Remember, the cosine has to be between 1 and negative 1. And 3 halves is 1 1/2. The other one, however, 2 cosine theta plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1 and divide by 2. It's negative. I know I'm in the third quadrant, or the second quadrant and the third quadrant. That's where cosine is negative. I'm going to have the two answers. I know that cosine of 60 degrees is 1/2. But I'm in the second quadrant. There's my 60 degrees. That's 120, isn't it? Yes? And I also know that cosine is negative in the third quadrant with a reference angle of 60, because cosine of 60 is 1/2. That angle is 180 plus 60, or 240. So my answers are 120 degrees and 240 degrees. But I think you can get that part of it, Adam. I think it was just the part that, getting to the point where you can factor it. Okay? All right. Is there any other questions that you have on any of that review that we did? I'm sure you guys did not finish that review. Most of you probably did not. So why don't you work on that today in class. When you get done with that, start in your other review, doing that chapter test. Get some questions answered today that you need to. All right? And then I'll put the other stuff that I need to do on the website. All right, here's the answers to problems 18 through 37. How long do you think I should leave that on the website? Briefly, so you can just pause it? Would that work for you?
Yeah.
You guys, can you read that on the screen?
No.
I can read it on my computer screen.
We're kind of far away.
So you should be able to read that on your computer screen.
There's no seats.
All right, and up on the screen now is the answers to the chapter test. Remember, we do not have to do problems 17, 18, or 19. And also, oh yeah, I think I already told you there's no half angles.
You could probably zoom in. Yeah. And just go over each individual section. Each column.
Got some answers up in the right-hand corner there.
Kind of hard to see.
That should be clear for everybody.